All right, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. Listing this just in general, but going to go to a customer, and then we will see if it's still up here in a couple days, or if we even have it listed. It'll be available, and if it doesn't, then it'll go, and you guys can call me for a different one. Hopefully. They are getting low. We are getting low on quantity-wise. This one's a really clean one, and I think it's an 02, and I know you asked me about an 02. This one was not listed. I think the one, yeah, 402. So, I believe the one that you were inquiring about when we talked on the phone earlier is a different blue 02, although they're going to look almost identical. I didn't see a number on this one, so I don't believe this one was listed, and it wasn't washed. So, had the guys listed, they had to have done it without it washed, and we usually don't do it that way. So, hopefully that's the case, and I'm not just redundantly doing a video, which happens occasionally. So, I apologize for the wind. Can't really control that today. Gonna be a little noisy, but so 2002 is a one-off year. Okay, so it will work on any 9706, but there are some changes. We made a video describing what you have to change. If you're going to go one way or the other, it's usually easier to use an 02 on a 9701, because if you use it on a later one, you either have to change your seat, your rear seat. Again, you can check that out on a video, or modify it for your existing seat, for your rear seat only. Your front ones are the same. The firewall is the easy swap on it. You can cut out. Matter of fact, I will send a picture, because we just sent one, or just did one for a customer that he bought an 02 and had a 9701. So we have a template, or otherwise you can do it as well. So, and if you have an 02, great, it'll bolt right on. So again, I have a video. I don't want to confuse anybody with that. It's not a difficult thing to do, but I do want to make sure you're aware of it. So one of the reasons I like these kind of tubs is it's kind of like that green one we have. That one's damaged over there, but you don't see very many undercarriage or under tubs or whatever this clean. And I don't know if it was just certain years they did something different on them, but there's absolutely no rust whatsoever on this thing. It is 100% beautiful on the bottom side, and even on the top side it's clean too. It's got a couple dings here and there, but it is a solid tub. We're going to count off just like we always do on our torque pockets, even though it's really not I like doing it no matter what. Okay, there's 10 of them, with 11 total being the one on the front clip. Obviously there's no front clip on this tub. If you're interested in a front clip, I can help you out with that as well. Front clip is consisting of a hood, fenders, and a grill, and you don't have to end up with the whole thing, but it is an option that a lot of people do. So, and then of course windshield frames, tailgates, doors, roll bars. I got a lot of roll bars, so I can make you a deal on a roll bar. That's not a big deal. Okay, so without further ado, we'll count them off again. There's 10 on the tub side, and look how clean these threads are. 1, okay, and then we'll come back to these torque pockets in a second. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's your 5 down your driver's side, and then your passenger side. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now there's a couple reasons I like to count them off. One is so you get used to that, okay, because there's not a lot that holds these things down. Second reason is it allows you to ensure that I'm not skipping and not showing you something that's potentially going to be a pain in your ass later. Pain in the ass stuff. Torque channels, okay? These things here, these beautiful babies, they start collapsing and showing wear. Typically the middle ones, for some reason, the middle ones always are the ones that go first, and then your rear ones. These ones don't usually go. So the ones I usually see go are these guys here, and then the back ones, okay? The rest of them don't seem to be too big of an issue, usually. On a real rusty tub, they're all gonna be an issue. But this thing, look at this thing. There's not even a sign, a speckle. Like yesterday I put one up, and you could start seeing browning around it, right? Which is bleed through. So you're starting to see there's something going on there. You can't quite get what it is, but you need to treat it and potentially investigate further, because you don't want it, obviously, especially something like this where there's a channel here and it's a hollow channel. You don't want something eating itself from the inside out. After doing a big job like this, the last thing you want to do is look down in a year and go, crap, I'm right back where I was, or I'm starting to go right back there. So these things are absolutely cherry. There's not even a speck of wear on them. I mean, not even like dinged up. I mean, sometimes they get twisted. You'll get these, it'll be cockeyed. Nothing. This you couldn't ask for a cleaner bottom side of a tub. So for that reason alone, this this has like an A+ on it, right? So we'll go through the tub entirely. I'm gonna flip it down here on its end, on the belly, and I'll show you the top side. And then if there's anything little on it, big on it, anything like that, I'm gonna show you. The point of this video, okay, is so you can feel like you're standing here next to me and looking it over with a fine-tooth comb. That's the point of this, right? I have no hard feelings. People call, they go, hey, you know, rarely do they call and say, hey, you know, I didn't see something. That's the point of doing these. But if there is that, that's what we're here for. I'd rather you see it now. And what's the old saying? Under promise, over deliver. And that's truly why we've been doing this, and we've been doing it successfully for 21 years because of that. So, okay, the back torque box here, if this thing goes, you're gonna have to replace the whole thing. And you can see it's kind of integrated in the lower rocker here, okay? So, and I just washed it, but obviously the bottom side didn't get super, it's a little dusty down there, okay? A little bit of skirting here, this gets a little dinged up, okay? You can bend that back pretty easy, bang it back, however you want to do it. That's the skirting for your frame. It actually kind of lips up into there. When you go to pull one of these, this is usually the part that people call about, and I can't figure out, you got to almost push them forward and lift up because there's a little bit of a lip here, and that's why they get a little banged up. But nonetheless, still a great tub, okay? And then these little tabs here, okay? I showed this yesterday on a Sahara. This one's got a little dinger right there. They're factory on all of them, but they're only used on the Sahara the clad molding. Okay, this one was not a Sahara. So what's nice about it, if you have a Sahara and wanted to use this one, it's pretty simple. Use those tabs and then you drill out your holes for the rest of your clad molding up there. And if you don't have a Sahara and you buy one like I did yesterday, you got to fill in the holes, okay? So this one's nice because if you don't have it or you don't plan on running the clad molding on them, okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up like a 98, 99. They all did it. I think even the later ones. Saharas, some of the Rubicons, mainly the Saharas, they had this plastic, almost looks like a faux step. It's not a step, but it kind of looks like it, okay? So you can put it on there. Again, on this one, if you wanted to use this on a Sahara, you just simply align up those holes, those existing holes on that clad molding, drill them out, and you're good to go. You can use nut certs. There's a few different ways of doing it. Or you can call and ask if we have a Sahara tub, which we do have at the moment, okay? And then lastly is here. This has got a little dirt in it still. I can get it all out of here. But these seams here, these love to start collecting. This is usually, or is this pinch metal, where you start seeing rust form. So I always like to look in this. This usually has an inner liner in it. So you can't usually get in and see this when you're buying a Jeep. There's a couple areas I always like to look. If you can fold that plastic back, you can look here. If it's clean like this, you're probably in good shape. Not always, okay? Because these are almost impossible to see, especially if they're just starting to go. Now, if they're full-blown shot or collapsed or broken, you'll see it. You can look up and this whole area will be just trashed on them. So, okay, the tunnel is in great shape, not all beat up. Even the shielding, which normally gets pretty beat up just sitting in the yard, is in good shape on this one, okay? Those are your exhaust shields, right? Sometimes people want those. We pull them off. We'll sell them. We don't usually include them, but I'm not going to include it on this one because it's already here. So you get those ones as a freebie, okay? What else? Corners, great. Again, let me put it down. You're going to look up for just a second. See our beautiful blue sky today. All right, so they're not very heavy. I mean, I'm by myself. I flip them up on their sides. I'm getting old, so my days are numbered for that. But the point is that you can move them around. When I went out recently, did deliveries, I prefer not to move a tub. I can do frames around with another person. Usually in tubs, I like to have equipment, but if you don't have equipment, just have a couple buddies, right? I don't like having myself or my drivers do these by ourselves or with even just another person. You can do it. I did it with an 81-year-old guy out in Michigan this last trip. We didn't do it. I'll do it for you, but I prefer to have some help, okay? So keep that in mind. They are light. I think they weigh maybe 450, 500. They don't weigh much, okay? They're just big and awkward. And I don't want to see anybody else get hurt, anything like that, okay? So that's my little soapbox for you. So I'll tell you a story sometime. You can probably listen to some of my other rants on my videos to figure it out. But yeah, it's been some fun delivery moments. People saying they have equipment. Get out there in the middle of the night and there's nothing. Yeah, anyway. So scratches on the inside. Paint scratched up pretty good, okay? There's no damage on it, but it is scratched. You can start seeing bare metal there. A couple scratches up on the fender wells. Hopefully this isn't necessarily a color thing for you, as most people do paint them, but if you had to touch this up, wouldn't be a huge deal. Overall, it is blue. If you're going for blue. If you're not going for blue, it's a moot point. Okay, floors there. We always try to pull the roll bars. I don't always pull them because sometimes we just leave them alone, we include them. But oftentimes people still say they want them pulled, and it's important for you as a customer to know that. And the reason that I usually suggest buying a tub without a roll bar in it, because typically, again, where they like to rust from the top side down is those pads, those feet for those roll bars. These are in excellent shape. Okay, a little oxidation, but absolutely no rot in there whatsoever, no scaling, no surface, no nothing. All the bolts broke free. That's a big deal. People do not, I feel like they discount that in the sense of they don't realize how important it is to not, one bolt broken, whoop-de-doo, spend a couple hours pulling it, drilling it, whatever. You get into a tub where you got somebody that just went willy-nilly and took a big old impact and broke everything off with it, you can easily equate a couple days of messing around with the thing and possibly tapping, drilling out holes, because it just depends on how bad it broke, right? So all tubs, we have a special tool I make my guys use. It takes them a little longer, shakes the shit out of them, excuse my French, but it does happen to be a good tool to use to prevent bolts from breaking off, right? So again, floors, excellent shape. A little bit of, that's not even bare metal. It's almost like primer down to that point there. But you can see there's absolutely no rust at all. Got a little bit starting to get a little oxidized there where bare metal shows up. Again, I always like to show that. And I always tell people the definition is not that this isn't the rule here. This is the way I was taught. So when I call something oxidation, I'm talking about bare metal that's starting to get brown, right? So that over there, this here, and then you got surface rust. That's your next spot. So you can have oxidation even on paint. It's just leaching into the paint there. Okay, surface rust you're starting to get flaking, right? You start to get that layering. You can start peeling you're starting to see a little bit of integrity of the metal is eroding there. So this tub doesn't have any of that, but nonetheless, and then you have rot. And I had a tub yesterday that had a little bit on. I showed that in that video. It's discounted because of it. And that's usually through and through. So you might not be a complete hole, but you got rust here and you got rust on the bottom side. And that's going to be, just rotting. And obviously rot just goes into just worse. So, okay. So there's going to be a little bit of discounts on this because I can see right here, there's a pretty good dinger. And unfortunately that probably happened in my yard, the way that looks. So, it's not huge. The scratch really highlights it though, because you can kind of see it looks like maybe a fork or something dragged across the side there. And I always talk about, you can see it right there. It's about my finger length, so about 3-4 inches. One thing I always talk about in damage wise is it accessible or not? So this is an accessible one. This isn't too bad of a fix. You can bang it out from this side, shouldn't even notice it, okay? A lot of times floors will get banged up, just moving them around the yard. This one's pretty good. It might be, you can usually jump and get a little bit of those out, okay? I got a little dinger right there, all right? Now, this area here, okay, and there's a couple areas like this on this. There's no damage on the outside, at least I don't think. We'll look at it. This would be considered like a boxed in area, okay? So it makes the damage a little harder to fix. So let's just hypothetically say there was a big dinger here. This is all clean here. There's not, but happen to be a, same kind of dent there here. We discount a lot more significant when you have damage in those boxing areas, okay? That would be an area, you can see back in there, there's a little bit of a boxing area there. So both of these areas, so there's no damage. Again, this is, matter of fact, I had to just get the washer out real quick and wash this side for you real quick. I hate to show you, maybe I can show you, at least you can look at my yard. It is 7 acres out here and we do pride ourselves on, plus look at the day we have. Now watch, this thing's gonna start up and shake the crap out of this phone. I put this here. Oh man, I shouldn't have done this way. I apologize, but let's just fire it up and get a clean wash on it. I'm kind of particular like that, so it won't take me just a second either. I forgot, iPhones have a pause thing now. I don't even need to put you up in the sky. So that's cool. And I inadvertently doing that, this pressure washer, which is a hot seat, started to have some major issues last week. with pressure loss and heat going on and a lot of other BS. Just fortunately, guys work for me don't always take care of things so well. So, but firing that thing up, I think I figured out the issue. I think that pump that we have, our supply pump, is cavitating. So I had no pressure there, and that's the only thing I can think. So anyway, things happen for a reason. All right, a couple other things I noticed as I was doing that, pausing for a second. I happened to watch the firewall here, and I seen very faded a SKU number there. So I'm gonna look at that SKU, but I have a feeling this is that tub you asked about. I will cross-reference it. If it is, I will get you this video, and we will just use that ad. I'll make sure the photos are good. If not, I'll send you the photos I took today and go from there. So that's the hardest part when you have employees. It's just, I feel like sometimes we chase our tails, and they're not all like, I'm not saying that I have the best crew I've ever had. This is actually, this actually was from a previous crew we had out here. And I had some people, I usually do these videos myself, but I had some people do some videos, and this one should have been put, so you can kind of see it here. 50, 503, 848 maybe. It's hard to see, but this one should have been marked in a different place because it fades in the sun like that, and then it should have been put at the upper lot, and it wasn't. It was actually put right back in our not listed one. So I probably just wasted the last 17 minutes. There's probably a video of it as well. It might even be one of my videos, and it definitely is possible. So I've made mistakes too. So if you're regurgitating a video, I apologize. And hopefully there's no additional damage that this video go around, but nonetheless, it's always good to, be thorough and double check. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there because, like I said, I seen that and I got a little bit like, oh, well, I guess this has been done before. I'll fire this off to you, buddy, and we'll go from there. My wife is calling me. I do have a doctor's appointment I got to run off to, but we can chat. That's only an hour, so either this evening or in the morning. All right, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. Have a great day.